Hello and welcome back to Ventura County Works, the podcast that connects people, programs, and possibilities across our regional workforce system. This is Doug Foresta, and of course, with us is Rebecca Evans, Executive Director of the Workforce Development Board of Ventura County. And today's episode features two leaders who bring both passion and innovation to the world of workforce development. They not only serve on the Workforce Development Board, but have also launched a new business venture together called InsideTrak's FutureReady Workforce. Today, joining us are Laura Martinez, current WDBVC chair, and Natalie Lehman, a member of the Performance and Evaluation Committee. Laura, Natalie, Rebecca, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
All right, thank you, Doug. Well, let's start with a little more introduction of each of you, and thank you both so much for being on the podcast today. It's great working with you on the board, and I'm super excited to record this podcast episode for Ventura County Works. So can you each share a little bit about who you are and what you do? And Laura, we'll start with you.
Sure. I'm co-founder of InsideTrak and owner and CEO of HR Force. I'm a strategic HR architect and proud Air Force veteran with over 25 years of experience helping organizations in a variety of industries across the United States achieve operational excellence and workforce transformation. As a member and advisor to executive teams, I've had the privilege of helping organizations reach new levels of success. That experience led me to create HR Force to help even more organizations build that same strength and success. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. And can I just say, since Laura's been the chair, we've been to a few conferences and in meetings where sometimes I get to introduce Laura, and I love introducing you because I get to say Laura Martinez, our chair, Air Force veteran,
I know you do that so
professional.
well. And you know what? It makes me proud when you say it. Thank you.
Well, you covered so many bases. You've had such a full career and life, and you bring all of it to the workforce board. So lucky us. Natalie?
I know, lucky me. I get to be the co-founder of InsideTrak with Laura, and I always feel so incredibly fortunate to get to work with her and with you, Rebecca. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Natalie Lehman. I'm the founder of She Means Business. I'm a business strategist and leadership coach. I have more than a decade of experience guiding entrepreneurs, executive organizations through growth and transformation. What I love to do is I love to blend strategic advising, leadership development, and organizational consulting, and to really help leaders grow in their own personal selves and their own visions, and then also help them really lead organizations through their vision, execution. And I love to support building high-performing teams and really help them lead with clarity, confidence, and with real, true results and impact.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Natalie. And we've gotten to work with you in a couple of different capacities when you were working with Cause Impacts and consulting with us at the Workforce Board. And then much later, you've come back and serve your time on the Performance and Evaluation Committee. So really appreciate that. And you know us very well. It makes you very valuable because you've worked with us. My question for both of you is, with all of that talent and experience that you're bringing together, what inspired each of you to do the work you're doing today? You've both built careers that center around people and leadership and transformation. What keeps you passionate about this kind of work? Laura?
What really drives me is seeing organizations transform. My favorite thing in the whole world. In my career, I stepped into organizations ready for change, places that needed the right structure and strategy to make their operations stronger. Several times in my career, I have also stepped into organizations to build HR departments from the ground up. Also my favorite. In all cases, I've had the privilege of designing and guiding impressive transformations and helping organizations evolve into high-performing, purpose-driven workplaces. Developing those blueprints for success and watching them come to life is an incredible thing to witness. That transformation never, ever gets old for me. It's what fuels me, and it's exactly why I do what I do.
Yes. And again, you bring that to the workforce board because as you've been on the board over the last few years, you've seen the changes that we've gone through as an organization to consistently improve. And as chair, brought even more of that energy and even more new things for us to be able to experience. Natalie?
Yay. What I love so much, and Rebecca, you hit it on the head in your question, is I love working with people and organizations. And I think Laura and I probably couldn't do the work that we're doing right now if we didn't really love the people and organizations. And that's always been a core passion of mine. I've loved to kind of work within the messiness of organizations, help them untangle or grow or create real strategies that really impacts growth. And then I've always loved working individually with leaders and teams. And one of the things that I found throughout all of my experiences and throughout my consulting work, and even as an executive prior, is a lot of the times our strategy and our leadership would be kind of separated, right? The development of how our leaders grow would be separate from how our organizations grow. And what I really found was if we could treat them together, if we could help our leadership and our teams grow together, then the strategies also were really supported. And so that has been one of the strengths, and that's really why I started She Means Business, is to help organizations and leaders grow at the same time, because work should be engaging, creative, fun, innovative, and we should have teams that are really able to engage in that. And so my years of experience have allowed me to not only see organizations transform, watch leaders transform, but to also really grow really incredible businesses. And so that's what keeps me so engaged and passionate every single day.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. That's an excellent point. And I would say with my experience in organizations, um, public serving organizations, same dynamic happens. I think within any organization, the same dynamics happen. And to be able to bring consciousness to that, to bring awareness to that and how you can grow together is so valuable and so important. So you've each had successful businesses outside of InsideTrak leading up to this. Laura, you're the founder and CEO of HR Force. And Natalie, you lead She Means Business, which is everyone's favorite name
It's the best thing I've ever done.
yes, yes. And you went with it. You're like, this She Means Business, and this is the name I'm going to have. But can you tell us a little bit about your individual work and how those businesses connect to each other? We'll start with you, Laura.
Well, Natalie mentioned a lot of things about, what she does, and that really align with my work as well. And I think that's why we came together. But I'll tell you a little bit about HR4s. We focus on transforming, designing, and building strategic foundations and frameworks that serve as the backbone of successful companies. We help organizations strengthen their workforce, operations, their safety, and culture to drive excellence at every single level. What's really powerful is how naturally that connects with Natalie's work. We both share the same passion for helping leaders and organizations reach their full potential. That shared purpose is what brought InsideTrak to life, blending both of our strengths and create lasting transformations for the organizations we serve. So the alignment was perfect for us, and our passion and our energy, all of it.
Yes, yes. And you can tell with the energy that the two of you have together. Natalie, what would you add to that?
Yeah, we really like each other, which is really good for a partnership, and I think we work really well together. Agreed with Laura. So on my end, I work with a lot of businesses to support them with their overall strategy, their operations, really diving into how to operate their business as well, how to increase their revenue, how to really work with their workforce, and kind of create the plans and long term that are actually going to be sustainable. And where Laura and our work originally really connected is because we've had clients in common oftentimes that we would work together. And so we've been able to previously work together with clients. And then as we started to work together with clients through InsideTrak, there was just so much synergy there. There was just always so much time that we were able to connect to really support clients in such a meaningful way. And so that has been just a really powerful partnership and really awesome.
So that's the coming together. You found, oh, I'm working with this client. I'm
Yes.
working with this client. And then you start to see how you can build together. And I would also say, what a compliment to your clients. And they probably had some role in how you were able to build this because you were able to see it through their lens and what they experienced as well. It's so interesting how your experiences complement each other. Laura bringing that deep operational strategy and workforce expertise, and
Yes.
Natalie bringing the coaching, the leadership development, the organizational transformation. And I know you've been a part of a startup before. That's a whole experience. That combination really captures both sides of what workforce development is really all about. And I know you're both very passionate about the work we do at the Workforce Development Board. So you're both very well connected with the community and with the Workforce Development Board. How has your involvement in the WDBVC, as we call it, influenced your partnership and your work together? Laura?
As chair of the Workforce Development Board, I work with local businesses, educators, and community partners to strengthen our regional workforce and drive economic growth. Through my involvement with the Workforce Development Board and other local partners, I'm able to connect employers with training, upskilling, and funding programs. And a little later, Natalie will talk about how that works with InsideTrak, but that's a key component of what we do. With InsideTrak, it's about transforming the entire ecosystem by empowering employers, supporting workers, and strengthening our communities. Natalie and I come together on this project because we share that same passion.
Mm-hmm. And Laura, I know in your previous leadership work, you also utilized your company, the company you worked with, utilized Workforce Development Board services, business solutions that we have available.
Exactly.
And you've shared with many folks what your experience was like to be able to tap into incumbent worker training programs for the employer. It was a benefit for the employees and avoided any unnecessary reductions in force because you could retrain the employees that you have to do work when there's a paradigm shift in the operations. So you're going to be able to speak to the services that are available, having experienced them yourself. And I think that even just deepens the connection to it.
True.
Natalie?
It's so fun and that's so true. I love what Laura just said about being involved in the Workforce Development Board also just kind of allows you to see a total impact on the community. I think it gives you a larger perspective of the whole ecosystem that is just really meaningful, and it's been really meaningful in our work. But even on a personal level, I have clients that use the Workforce Development Board. I have to use the Workforce Development Board often for different services or trainings or connections. And so that has been really meaningful for me and for our clients. But what I've really seen, and I'll just speak quickly to the Performance and Evaluation Committee, which I have really been able to see what happens, when I was a consultant with you, I get to kind of see the strategy, right? And on the Performance and Evaluation Committee, we've really gotten to see how those strategies actually turn into programming and what the impact of those programs really are. And so it's given me a perspective on not only what's available from the Workforce Development Board, but across all of these different community partners, education, other community-based organizations, other nonprofits. And it's really been able to give us a big bird's eye view of how much is available in our community to local businesses and individuals. And so I think that's what the work, being part of the Workforce Development Board and on the Performance and Evaluation Committee has really provided. And so it's been very meaningful, and it's been really meaningful in our work together. As Laura mentioned, it's a huge piece of it.
Yeah. And incredibly meaningful and valuable for us at the Workforce Board as well. So thank you. Thank you both. So now let's talk about InsideTrak, the Future Ready Workforce. For those hearing about it for the first time, what is InsideTrak and how does it help organizations grow?
Well, it really started naturally. Natalie and I, as she stated earlier, were both working with some of the same clients who were growing quickly, but struggling to connect their strategic goals with their people strategy. I remember being in a meeting with Natalie where she was doing the strategy. I, was able to interject some of the workforce side of it that I was so experienced with. And at the end of the day, we really connected the employer with some really good tools that they can consider using. We, as an HR professional, I hear one thing I do want to mention is that as an HR professional, I hear about the talent shortage all the time. And I know we hear that all the time, Rebecca, all the time. With InsideTrak, Natalie and I help organizations grow by unlocking the potential of the people that they already have, right? Developing skills, leadership, and systems that turn workforce challenges into powerful opportunities. I've seen firsthand the incredible impact that comes from skilled, well-supported workforce. Together, Natalie and I, we help organizations build a future-ready workforce and connect business strategy with workforce strategy.
Yes, you put it perfectly, because that is exactly what we hear about and we're seeking to do. And what is available is support to grow that ready workforce right here.
Yes.
So the InsideTrak model, from what you've described, is a concierge-style approach to workforce development within organizations, providing employers with that seamless end-to-end solution for building a skilled, future-ready workforce. So can you expand on what that means in practice, what it looks like?
Yes, I absolutely can. I love this concierge style model because what it really means is we're taking the complexity out of that workforce development for employers. A lot of times when you add consultant to mix, the idea is, oh gosh, that's going to add more time or complexity. And what we're really doing is taking both of those elements out of this. And because what happens with most organizations is they're trying to manage their strategy, their revenue, their training, their staffing, and it all becomes really separate efforts. And what happens is that that really creates a lot of gaps within the organization and a lot of inefficiencies. So what we're really trying to do, and what we really do, is we bring all those pieces together into one coordinated effort and framework. And it really connects the business goals and workforce planning and implementation all in one. And we are the main point of contact. So that means that we're managing the alignment, we're assessing how where the organization is at that point, we're really identifying that workforce capacity, and we're really understanding what they need to do to meet those goals. We help them design and coordinate the right process and solutions, and then we connect them to the actual training pathways and bring them along those pathways together. And so once we connect them with those trusted partners, they don't just get left. We actually continue to work with them and manage those pipelines, manage and those upskilling opportunities so that they aren't left alone. We're with them every single step of the way, and we really take on the burden of time, right? And so that we can give them back back the time that they usually miss with those disconnected efforts.
Wow. So that really is that end-to-end concierge approach that you're talking about. So I know InsideTrak's approach goes beyond just consulting, as you were just describing, but you help the employers align strategy, funding that may be available, access to trusted partners, that networking. How does that work, and what types of results could a business expect to see?
Yeah, so once, we really understand the organization's goals, our goal is to connect them to, there are so many resources. And for those that are listening to this that don't know about the resources in this community, I mean, there are tons and tons of trainings available, funding available. There is so much available to businesses, not only from the Workforce Development Board, but in the education across so many different places. And a lot of the times what ends up happening is just businesses don't know where to start, and they don't know exactly how to access those solutions, right? And even though everyone could say it blue in the face, or a lot of the times they just don't have the time to really figure out the right resource for them. And so what we do is, since Laura and I have been so connected with the community and have such a great relationship with you, Rebecca, and everyone on your team, is we've been able to connect them. We're able to really identify the right source of training or funding and be able to take them through the process. So it relieves time for the employers, and also really gets them connected to the right resource, the right training at the right time. And really the results are significant. I know Laura's going to be able to speak even more to some of our big wins, but it's allowing organizations to save a lot of money by optimizing their operations. They get to really improve their workforce systems. Their employees are getting the upskilling and training that they really need, and it's really engaging in a way that is extremely meaningful, and it's really supporting our whole ecosystem, not only businesses, but organizations, education along the way. And so really our goal is complete support, complete taking them through the process.
Mm-hmm. And connecting them to resources that are already available. It's such a powerful model. Because it not only, you're improving operations, reducing costs, accessing services, and it can build that sustainable workforce to last for those clients as well as for our greater region. Can you share an example or a scenario where InsideTrak has made that kind of impact already?
Yes, we can. So through the InsideTrak model, an organization saved over $2 million in payroll costs.
Wow.
Boosted production by 60% and improved efficiencies across their entire operations. That's just one example that I have. We also will give the website where we have other success stories and case studies. But that one was, for me, was an incredible feat to be able to do that with the organization. Now, this included no cost training to offset talent development costs. By aligning strategy, people, and performance, the organization turned their vision into measurable, sustainable success. It was truly an incredible thing to see and experience. By the end of this model, by the end of all of the work that we put in, it was a total different company.
Yeah.
Total different company. And that's what I'm always excited about, the transformation piece. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it must be very rewarding to see that. And it really ties back to what we emphasize at the Workforce Development Board, bringing the talent and the employer together. And it's the education, training, upskilling, and strengthening that that it enables us to do that, helping the employers and job seekers succeed together with partnerships and that strategic investment where it's really needed. So as we start to wrap up, I feel like we could probably go on for a while talking about this. What are the key takeaways you'd like listeners to remember about your work, both InsideTrak and through your service on the Workforce Development Board? And we'll start with you, Laura.
Well, what I hope people take away from my work is that real growth happens when strategy, leadership, and workforce development move together. Through HR Force, InsideTrak, and the Workforce Development Board, My goal is to help organizations and communities build the strength, alignment, and confidence that they need to be ready for the future, because we all need to be ready for the changes that are coming our way, probably already here. So it's getting ready for that future that's important for me to be able to contribute to that.
Wonderful. Natalie?
Yeah, and I would just echo so much of what Laura said, which, since my focus is so often on leadership, mine is how, if as leaders, if they can really truly focus on workforce development, it is all so deeply connected. And what we really see is when those leaders take that active role, when they choose to be really engaged and embedded in their workforce development, in their teams, in their upskilling, and they really partner with the community to do it. They don't just create a stronger organization for themselves, but they actually really are supporting an entire ecosystem and our whole community. And so, what we're really saying is, if you are wanting to make an impact as an organization, and through even InsideTrak, there is so much broader impacts than just your workforce. It actually expands into the whole community.
Very, very good point. And I'll add here, what you guys have explained is how you're utilizing both Workforce Development Board services and other services that are available. We have our partners at the Economic Development Collaborative. There's the Women's Economic Ventures. There's so many organizations and resources that are available, and you're able to connect them and be that through point to connect everyone to those resources that can help their business grow and help the employees be stronger on their career pathway. And that's absolutely the way we would like to work with even more businesses. So if you're listening to this and you have a business and you'd like to work with the Workforce Board, please let us know. But how can listeners connect with you and learn more about InsideTrak?
Well, our listeners can learn more about InsideTrak at InsideTrak.net. Now, track is spelled TRAK. So InsideTrak.net to see how we're helping organizations grow stronger and succeed for the long run. We also have more successful case studies on our website, and you can also find us on LinkedIn.
Wonderful. And if you would like to connect with the Workforce Development Board, of course, you can do that at workforce.venturacounty.gov. If you've been listening for a while, yes, that URL has changed. We are within the county of Ventura, and everything has moved to a .gov. So it is workforce.venturacounty.gov, where you can learn more about us and connect with us. Doug, I'll throw it back over to you.
Sure. Just a quick takeaway here before we finish. I'll say, the big thing that really came to me as I listened to this was about collaboration. I mean, just what you've done, but, we talk a lot about collaboration, but, collaboration means utilizing all the resources and strengths available. And so sometimes, people talk about collaboration, but it's not really collaboration. They're not fully leveraging all of the strengths and resources that are available. As we know, the challenges that we're going to be facing are really complicated challenges. And so I think, Rebecca, what you had said too, for any businesses, it's like, why would you do this alone? Why would you try to tackle this alone? Why would you not take advantage of the resources that are there? So that was my big takeaway from today.
Wonderful. And I'll say thank you again to our guest, to Laura Martinez, our chair, and Natalie Lehman, who's on our Performance and Evaluation Committee. Thank you both very much. And until next time, this is Ventura County Works, where we share stories that build a stronger, more resilient workforce for all. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.